So this thing wasn't really even on my radar until Glenn Close got an Oscar nomination. And it honestly didn't look that fascinating either. But I figured it's worth checking out. And well, it definitely was. Turns out it's a surprisingly engaging movie. The two main performances are also really good. And their chemistry is great. Jonathan Pryce plays a novelist who's just won the Nobel Prize for Literature, and Glenn Close plays the wife. And I don't want to give anything away, but let's just say there's a little bit more to the story here, more than meets the eye. Anyway, they're traveling to Stockholm for the awards ceremony, and that's where most of the movie takes place. But the movie is mostly about their relationship. And as I said, their chemistry is great, and it's a pretty interesting dynamic they've got going on too. The relationship basically carries the entire movie too. All the other stuff is sort of secondary. Now on a technical level, it's a very solid movie. I'd even call it robust. But it's not flashy and there's nothing fancy going on whatsoever. It's very restrained and has a fairly slow build up to the climax too. But it's well paced and never drags even for a few minutes. It's just very well put together without drawing attention away from the main performances. But it's clear they made an effort to get all the details right. The little things, stuff that's mostly in the background, stuff that doesn't really matter. But you still notice it, even if you think you don't. Subliminally, like the fact that they have actual Swedes speaking Swedish, which they so often don't bother doing in movies, getting native speakers to play the smaller parts. And the flight they took appeared to be a Concorde, which makes sense in the early 90s. So yeah, overall the production design is really good too. I liked it, and it seems like they shot a lot of it in Stockholm too. But a lot of that could have been trickery. They might have just sent over a crew to get some establishing shots. And now that I think about it, I'm not sure I ever even saw the two main characters outside over there. But that doesn't matter either way, it's not something I noticed during the movie. I was too focused on the central story and the relationship. It's just really gripping, and I guess that comes down to great believable writing. It's one of these movies I was so engulfed in I barely took any notes. I just wanted to know where it was going and what was gonna happen. And yeah, turns out it's a pretty fascinating story and the characters felt very real. You also understood why they did the things they did and completely believed them. I do feel the character of the son felt a little generic though. A little over the top maybe. And his performance wasn't on the level of the main two actors. Not sure about Christian Slater either. He plays another writer. I mean, he wasn't bad, but he just didn't fit in for some reason. And his character didn't feel fleshed out enough either. But they did try. Also, he's not that important, he's not the focus of the story, so it didn't end up taking anything away from the movie. He's really just there to set the main conflict in motion, to create some drama. But overall, this is a very solid movie. And it ended up being way better than I expected. Now, does Glenn Close deserve an Oscar for it? I didn't think it was a phenomenal performance, but it's definitely really good. Off the top of my head, Rosamund Pike comes to mind though, as having a better performance last year. But hey, it's all opinion anyway, and it's not a bad pick to be honest. But would I recommend watching this thing? Sure, if you like dramas, this is a pretty good one. So check it out, or don't. I'm not your dad. But I am trying to sell out, so consider liking, subbing, hitting that bell and supporting me on Patreon. Because I really need that private jet for my trips to Stockholm. And hey, why not drop a comment or check out another review? I'd appreciate it. Thanks.